Real Madrid were founded back in 1902. That means they've been around for 123 years. Just for context, the Titanic sank back in 1912. So Real Madrid have been around 10 years longer than the sinking of the Titanic. Since Real Madrid were founded, we've had 2 world wars, okay? And in all that time, in 123 years, they have not managed to win a treble. And this year, it's not going to change. And for Barca fans worldwide, this is one of the greatest days ever. If the first leg was a 10 out of 10 hate watch, this second leg is a 20 out of 10 hate watch. Actually, scratch that. It's an 100 out of 10. 100 out of 10 hate watch. That was beautiful to watch, man. Honestly, that was amazing. But honestly, all trolling aside, let's talk about this game because that was pathetic. That display from Real Madrid today was honestly shameful. I don't feel sad for their players. I don't feel sad for their coach. I feel sad for their fans. Because all week, these big names on Real Madrid, Bellingham, Vini, all these guys were talking about how 90 minutes is a long time in the Bernabeu. La remontada is on. We're not going to give up. We're going to go in there with everything we have and try and come back. They were teasing their fans into thinking they were actually going to show some effort today and put forth a good display. And the display they put forth showed zero effort. They showed no effort today. They showed actually no willingness to actually want to come back in this tie. They had their first shot on target in the second half. And as you guys know, for the most part, I've not defended Ancelotti, but I've said that Real Madrid fans have been harsh on him this season because I literally said, this guy literally won your UCL less than a year ago. And Madrid fans were telling me, no, this guy's not good this year. And I've watched every Madrid game so far this season and I thought, you know what, he's kind of past it, but we'll see what happens in the UCL because Ancelotti's always been a UCL manager. He has the most trophies in this competition for a reason. And as you guys know, I don't think Mikel Arteta is a great coach, even though I might have to revalue that opinion after these 2 legs. So Ancelotti, who's the best UCL manager ever, against Arteta, who prior to today obviously had never made a UCL semifinal, you would think, oh, it's a mismatch. Ancelotti's going to school him. But it was actually the other way around. And in my opinion, Real Madrid have the better team. So Real Madrid have the better team, the more seasoned coach in the competition. But Arsenal are the team that's walking away with a 5-1 win on aggregate. And they're the ones that are going to the semifinal and playing PSG. How does that happen? And look, Ancelotti has a lot of fault in this loss for Real Madrid. He was awful through 2 legs. He did nothing right. But the players bear a lot of responsibility too. Because they didn't show up through these 2 legs. Their best players, none of them showed up. That front 3 was non-existent, man. It was non-existent. But actually, I'm getting too ahead of myself. Before we get into the macro of this, let's talk about the micro. Let's talk about the game. Because that was honestly, like the first half was just a good cardio session for both teams. We had a couple, key moments in that first half, which we'll talk about right now. The first one was the Raúl Asensio penalty on Mikel Merino. That to me was confusing because I was watching the game, and when that corner happened, I didn't really see Mikel Merino fall, and the play went on, and nobody in the broadcast that I was watching mentioned anything about a possible pen. But then the ball goes out of bounds, and they're talking about how, oh, the ref is checking it in VAR, and I was like, what the fuck is he checking? Then I see the replay, and I see that, obviously Raúl Asensio is holding Mikel Merino and preventing him from making a play on that ball on the corner. To me, Madrid fans were talking about how that's not a pen. That was a clear pen. That to me is a clear stonewall penalty, and the ref rightfully gives it. And then Bukayo Saka steps up to the spot. And we know with Saka, he's a great player. Obviously scored today. We'll talk about that later. But he has his demons when it comes to taking penalties. We saw it the first time back in that Euro in 2021 against Italy in Wembley, where he missed a pen, the last pen of that game. To obviously, did Donnarumma save it? No, I think Donnarumma saved it. He saved that penalty to basically win Italy the Euro. So we know that Saka is not the best penalty taker when it comes to these big moments, or at least he hasn't been in the past. But I was confident in Saka because I was like, oh, this guy's going to step up, he's going to score. This guy has so much swagger. He lives for these moments. And Saka steps up and takes a terrible penalty. A Panenka to the side. What the fuck was that? Against Courtois, really? And when that happened, if Arsenal would have scored that pen, I would have said the tie's over. But when that happened, in my head I said, Real Madrid are going to win this game. Because it's exactly what they needed to come back in that game. They needed a confidence boost. They needed something to flip the momentum, to flip the switch. And that's exactly what they needed. Courtois saves the pen and the stadium goes crazy. The players are hyped up. Courtois is hyping up the crowd. I thought the comeback was on. But nothing happened after that. Nothing materialized. The players didn't even wake up. They played the same shit football. Mbappe is trying to die for a pen. That wasn't a pen in my opinion. I mean, Declan Rice doesn't even first of all, Mbappe has no chance of making a play on that ball. And Mbappe is not, Declan Rice has his hands under his armpits, but he's not dragging him back. He's not holding his shirt. That was silly from Mbappe. So I'm glad that the ref didn't give that pen. But Madrid in that first half, man, it was just like a cardio session. What were they doing? Apart from that Mbappe offside goal that he scored in the first, 5 minutes of the game, they did nothing, bro. They did absolutely nothing. Literally nothing. And like I said, that penalty save didn't spark any switch in them. All I saw was crosses into the box the whole game. How many crosses did Madrid send into the box in this game? That was their whole game plan. And Ancelotti showed today he has no game plan. It's what you guys always say. I was wrong, okay? Madrid fans, I apologize because you guys were right about him. Okay? The ones that were telling me he's not a good coach. You guys were right. I saw it today firsthand. I didn't want to believe it because I was like, this guy is the all-time UCL winner. He literally won the competition last year with an injury-riddled squad. He's still a good coach. But today I saw he has no game plan, no tactics whatsoever. It's get the ball and Lucas Vazquez cross it into the box and hope something happens. And that's not going to work against a team that's not defensively sound in Arsenal. So the first half, again, Saka misses a pen, Mbappe wants a pen, but they don't give it to him, and, it goes into halftime, no. And in my head, I said, if Madrid don't score in the first 30 minutes, they're not coming back. But again, every part of me was like, you know what, it's Real Madrid in the UCL and the Santiago Bernabeu, you got to respect them because they can come back at any second. If they came back against City in that tie back 3 years ago in 2022, they can come back whenever they want, okay? Because if they did it then, which seemed impossible, they can do it with 45 minutes, okay? They can score 3 goals in 45 minutes. It's like, it's hard, but it's not impossible for that team. And then that second half came around and nothing really happened for Madrid. I mean, they scored that goal, but Arsenal scored first. Bukayo Saka with a great ball behind from Mikel Merino, who chips it over Courtois. And props to Bukayo Saka. I mean, he redeems himself. After that shitty penalty, he redeems himself by scoring that beautiful goal past Thibaut Courtois. And when Saka scored that goal, I was like, okay, the tie's done. It's 4-0. It's over. They're not coming back. But then literally, 2 minutes later, Saliba makes a mistake. And Saliba was great today, but he makes that stupid mistake where he gets the ball, he's not passing, he's just standing in place, and Vini steals it, and Vini scores. And when that happened, I was like, okay, fuck, what is happening right now? Because Vini scores, and he's tapping up the crowd, and he's kissing the badge, and he's like, let's go. And I was like, there's no way this is happening right now. There's no way they're actually going to come back. There's no way they're going to come back. And I was scared for a little bit, bro. I'm not going to lie, I was scared for a little bit. But again, you would think that goal would have sparked the switch in Madrid. It would have sparked something in them. It would have flipped the switch, but it didn't. It didn't flip anything in them. The front three stayed playing shit. The subs that Carlo made did nothing at all. Nothing happened after that. And then Gabriel Martinelli seals it off. He scores that beautiful goal to make it 2-1. And, obviously Madrid ended up losing on the night. They ended up losing the tie overall. And look, man, I got to say this. For Madrid, if the Barca front three played shit yesterday, the Real Madrid front three today played even worse. Okay? And these two legs, it was pathetic. And obviously, Kylian Mbappe went off injured, and I hope he's fine. I really do hope he's fine because I don't wish injury on anybody. Rival player, I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't wish injury on any player. But Kylian Mbappe, man, he started off the season terribly, and then he picked it up. And he was playing like one of the best players in the world. And everybody was talking about how Madrid, if they win the UCL, he's going to win the Ballon d'Or. Everybody was talking about how Mbappe could win the Ballon d'Or. And I was like, where the fuck is this conversation coming from? Mbappe winning the Ballon d'Or? He's not been great that whole year. He hasn't been consistent. But everybody was talking about how Madrid, they can win the UCL and Mbappe could win the Ballon d'Or. Oh my God. Ballon de shit he's going to win. I thought that was a terrible joke, Ballon de shit. But he's not going to win anything, man. He was terrible through 2 legs. You signed this guy. You signed this guy this year, and everybody thought, and including myself, by the way, I thought that Real Madrid were basically going to be unstoppable. I didn't pick him to win the UCL. I picked Barca to win the UCL, but I thought they were going to win a couple trophies, and they might still win a couple trophies. Who knows? Maybe they win the Liga and the Copa Rey. I don't think they will, but maybe they do. But they signed him for nights like this in this competition because Cristiano Ronaldo, his idol, and the greatest player in the history of that club, in this competition, he always came through. Every single time he came through. Okay. And Mbappe did not live up to his shoes. He did not do it at all. And Vinicius Jr. scored the goal, I get it. But he was not good either. He was not good at all. Through 2 legs, he was not good. And Vinicius Jr. has been fucking terrible, man. He's been terrible since the year started. Before that, since Rodri got announced as the Ballon d'Or winner, and he said he was going to do it 10 times over, he has not done it. He hasn't even done it 1 time over. He's done a negative 10 times over. He has, I saw this, by the way, this is not my opinion. I gotta give credit. I saw this on X. Somebody said this. Vini has the ego. Vini's playing like 2018, 2019 Vini. But he has the ego of current Vini. Like, he's playing as shit as he was when he first got to Madrid, but his ego is like 100 times, obviously, like it's 100 times inflated. And you can't have that, man. Because again, he scored the goal, but that wasn't like some beautiful Vini vintage goal in the UCL. It was a mistake from Saliba. Rodrigo, who's been Madrid's most consistent and honestly underrated player throughout the past couple of years, not most consistent, but he's been the most underrated player over the past couple of years, completely ghosted through 2 legs. Jude Bellingham, who I think is still one of the best midfielders in the world, got shown levels by Declan Rice. Declan Rice was the best English midfielder in this tie. And by a long shot, by the way. Declan Rice was amazing today, man. He didn't score. Obviously, it's hard to live up to the performance he had in the first leg. But he might have been better in the second leg. He was everywhere on the pitch. He was winning balls back. He was carrying it forward. He was so amazing today. He was immense for Arsenal, man. He was immense for Arsenal. Credit to Declan Rice because he played fantastic. And prior to the game, prior to the first leg, they were talking to Bukayo Saka about how, oh, do you think you can reach the level of Vini and Mbappe? Bukayo Saka didn't have some amazing 2 legs. It wasn't like fucking, I don't know, Ronaldo against Bayern Munich back in 2016, 2017 through 2 legs. Okay, he wasn't that good. But he played way better than those guys. He showed those guys levels today. Mikel Merino showed those guys levels today. Mikel Merino had more goal contributions in this tie than Vini, Mbappe, and Rodrigo combined. And Bellingham, throw him in there. He had a goal in the first leg and an assist in the second leg. And Vini was the only one out of those 4 with a goal. So Mikel Merino had more goal contributions in these 2 legs than the front 4 that was supposed to take over Europe. Can you comprehend that? Can you comprehend how crazy that is? Really, honestly, sit down and let's sit down in silence for a second and digest that. Okay, you digested it, thank you, because it's crazy. It's really that insane. What else am I looking at here? Yeah, man, I don't even know. Vini played terribly, Mbappe played terribly, and this Madrid team needs a complete they need a complete revamp in the summer. I don't know who they're going to bring in as a coach. They're obviously going to bring in Trent, but I mean, to win the UCL last year in the fashion that they did, with all the injuries they had, and to get thoroughly outplayed by a super injured Arsenal squad. Madrid are missing Dani Carvajal. Camavinga couldn't play today. Mendy's out. I get it. They have injuries. But their squad on paper is still better than Arsenal's. And Arsenal, like I said after my match review in the first leg, they're injured as fuck. And credit to Mikel Arteta, man. I was wrong about you. I was wrong about you because you showed Ancelotti level say like I said. And I don't know where Madrid go from here. Obviously, they have the Copa del Rey final, which they're going to lose in my opinion because obviously I'm a Barca fan and I will never pick against my team. It's hard for me to see them winning La Liga because, you know, they're just not playing well. And a season that was supposed to be so promising for them ends up like this. I mean, you can't obviously go back-to-back, and there's no shame in that, man. Very few teams ever go back-to-back. Real Madrid are actually the only team this century that have gone back-to-back, and they actually won 3 in a row, which is impressive, obviously, of course. That just shows you how great that Madrid team was under Zidane. But, I mean, it was weird because when the season ended last year in May, Barca's future looked so dark, and Madrid's future looked so bright. And now, you fast forward, 10 months later, and it's the opposite. Barca are the ones that are one of the favorites to win the UCL, or maybe the favorites. We know what happened yesterday against Dortmund, but you know, for the most part, they've been much better this season. And Madrid are the team that's out in the quarterfinal. That's their first time not making a UCL semifinal since the 2019-2020 season. Every other year, in the 2020s, they have not missed a semifinal. 2020-2021, lost to Chelsea. 21-22, obviously made the semifinal and won the whole thing. 22-23, made the semifinal and lost to Man City. 23-24, made the semifinal, obviously beat Bayern Munich and won the whole thing. And now 24-25, you get knocked out in the quarterfinals. So, Madrid fans, I know you guys probably want to hate seeing my face right now, but I honestly like to think that I provided some good analysis and I wasn't just some annoying prick rival fan who's just here trolling you, because obviously I trolled you in the beginning, that's part of it, but I am a football fan at the end of the day and I just like talking about football, and I don't know, man. It was just, it's weird to see, bro, because you would think that Mbappe coming into this team, he was gonna show a little bit more. You know, he was gonna prove himself to these fans, because it's one thing doing it at PSG, but when you wear that kit, it's a whole different story. It's a whole different story. And the legends that have worn that kit and have played in that stadium, if you want to be a legend of that club, you got to do it there. You got to do it in that competition. You couldn't do it. And I don't know. And, you know, there's one thing also about this Madrid team. Everybody was talking about how, you know, they're going to come back because of Real Madrid. Everybody was basically saying, oh, yeah, Real Madrid have a chance to come back because of Real Madrid. Because we saw back in 2021, 2022 under Benzema, we saw it last year. Obviously, they also had a couple good comebacks as well. But here's the difference, man. That team had a certain aura about it. And I know aura is a corny word people use now, but for Real Madrid, it's what it is in the UCL. They had an aura about them. This Madrid team never had that aura. They never had an aura of invincibility. They never had that aura of, like, no matter what happens, we're going to come back. They didn't have that. So, I don't know if maybe I'm the only one that felt that way, but I just didn't feel it throughout the whole year. I was really never scared of Madrid coming back in the second leg. When they got that, when Courtois saved that pen, like I said, I thought that was going to spark them and kind of wake up that aura, but it didn't do that. So yeah, Madrid are knocked out in the quarterfinals of the UCL. We'll see what happens with them from here on out. They're probably going to fire Ancelotti. Who are they going to bring in? We'll see what happens. Rudiger, by the way, I mean, dude, he does too much sometimes, bro. He does too fucking much. He does way too much. Always fucking doing something, stepping on players' stomachs. And by the way, Mbappe, bro, for what he did on the weekend, he almost fucking broke some dude's leg. He almost intentionally ended some guy's career, in my opinion. I don't know if it was intentional. Actually, I shouldn't have put that on him. He almost ended some guy's career with that fucking tackle against Alaves. And then you do this? Oh my god, pathetic. But anyway, let's talk about briefly Arsenal, and not Arsenal, sorry, we just talked about Arsenal. Let's talk about, did I want to say anything else about Arsenal? What am I missing? Oh yeah, I gotta give Arsenal more credit actually. Raya had a great game, even though he didn't have to make many saves, he had a great game in my opinion. Like I said, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, I think had a really, really good game as well. Shout out to Martinelli for scoring that goal. He's been shit the whole season when he's been healthy, but he scored that goal, and props to him. Mikel Merino, like I said, has a goal and an assist. Beautiful from him. A guy who was a center midfielder, now he's playing striker and doing all this shit is crazy. And yeah, bro, I mean, I don't even know. I don't want to keep going on about this, but I think about Raya, and I'm like, bro, how many saves did he actually have to make? How many threatening chances did Madrid have? The one goal they had was a mistake from Saliba. It wasn't like, I never saw a Madrid chance and thought, wow, that was close. Wow, they really had a nice pattern of play there. They didn't have a single good, I just peeped this. Holy shit, this just came to my mind. It didn't have a single good pattern of play. If you made it this way into the video, then you just saw me come to this realization. But honestly, bro, I'm not even doing this for show. I just realized, I went back through the game in my head, didn't have a single good pattern of play. Not a single 1-2 that you thought, wow, that's good. And again, this team has Vini, Mbappe, Bellingham. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, let's talk about Inter and Bayern Munich, because that's the game that I was also very invested in. I was watching that game simultaneously with the Madrid game because obviously my team is playing the winner of that team. And it looks like Barca, or it doesn't look like it. Barca are going to play Inter in the semifinals of the UCL. I wanted to see Bayern Munich. I did not want to see Inter because I think Inter are the better team. But I don't think Inter are invincible, okay? And, you know, that game, it starts off with that Harry Kane goal off that assist from Goretzka. A beautiful goal from Harry Kane in the second half. Of course, all goals came in the second half. Just far post past Sommer. A great finish from the English striker. Great goal. And at that point, I was like, okay, maybe Bayern Munich are, you know, they're tied. Maybe they can win this thing. And then Lautaro Martinez scores from a corner. And Lautaro Martinez, who's been one of the most underrated strikers in the world, man, he continues to show his value. What a beautiful goal he scored. He kind of heads it, and then it comes off his leg, and then it hits off Kimmich, and then he finishes it beautifully. And then a couple minutes after that, again from a corner, Pavard scores a header. He was not free in the box, but Kim Min-jae doesn't really get good positioning on that, and he scores obviously past the keeper. And then Bayern Munich scored another goal. It was, who was it that scored this goal? I'm tripping. Was it? Oh, it was Eric Dyer. I'm pretty sure. Was it Eric Dyer? Yeah, it was Eric Dyer that scored that goal, right? I want to make sure I get this right because I don't want to fuck this up. It was Eric Dyer, right? Yeah, Eric Dyer. So the two former Spurs players score. Eric Dyer obviously scores a header from across from, I think, Olise. And it was 2-2, but unfortunately, Bayern Munich, not unfortunately, I don't really give a fuck, they're not my team, but unfortunately for them and their fans, they couldn't end up completing the comeback, and we're going to see Inter. So I had the word. We're going to see Inter and Barcelona in the second leg of the UCL. Look, I'll be lying to you guys if I said that I wasn't nervous about it because I think Barca are still the better team, and I still think Barca are the best team in Europe, but I feel like some aura or some feeling, no, aura, I'm going to use aura. I don't give a fuck if it's a corny term. I feel like some aura has been kind of washed off Barcelona after that game against Dortmund, but I still believe in this team, bro, and I still think that we are the better team and we're going to win. Now, the second leg is at the San Siro, but honestly, what Barca have to do in that first leg is not win by a lot. When Barca win by a lot in the first leg, it's always, it's terrible in the second leg. Let's keep it to 2-1. Let's keep it to 1-0. I'll be happy with a 1-0. And then the second leg, it'll be better because we're not fucking worried about choking. So let's keep it tight. Obviously, make my prediction video later on before the tie comes around because it's going to happen in 2 weeks. Obviously, Arsenal and PSG should be a really, really good game too. So we have PSG and Arsenal and Barcelona and Inter to battle to see who will be crowned as the two best teams in Europe. And then obviously in Munich, we'll see who will be crowned the best team in Europe. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Real Madrid fans, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts if you're a Barca fan about, you know, the game today and what you're looking forward to seeing in the semifinals against Inter, like all their strengths, weaknesses. Let me know all your thoughts down below. And yeah, man, I love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.